It's wrong to think that refugees are not capable. Refugees are capable. What they lack mostly are the opportunities, the lack of documentation, the inability to travel beyond the camps, the lack of a structured way of engagement or engaging the municipalities, the government or the county government. You know, the inability to access, for example, SIM cards in certain countries, the inability to access financial services, not only for loans, but maybe to bank the money they have, because within a 417,000 ecosystem, believe me, there is a lot that's happening in terms of economic activity, whatever, most of it informal. This can be regularized. You know, so it's very possible. We have got businesses here. Now we have around 15,000 SMEs that we know of. More than 2,000 informal saving groups, most of them women. So the potential is there, the ability is there. We only have put in those systems that can help formalize, regularize, which also is an element of protection. And then using the social protection approach, we see how those within, like in any part of the community, who need that extra help, that extra push from the government systems, can be able to access the systems. And that goes to the question of viewers for those refugees who are not able to. It's just like education. You give scholarships at times to those the most talented, or you give scholarships to those who are coming from families that do not have the necessary financial capital and muscle to do their work. So it's possible. So to rephrase again, the question is, how can we enable the refugees use their full potential while mitigating any possibilities of the most vulnerable becoming more vulnerable? And I think that's where it needs a whole society, whole agency approach to really think about any possibility that could put someone more at risk. The role of UNHCR is changing. UNHCR will be more of a catalyst. Is not going to take the leadership because it's no longer a refugee operation. The municipality brings sense and sensibility in terms of governance, coordination, and engaging the different partners from a developmental perspective. That's very important. So the coordination model is going to change. So UNHCR will feed, support, to ensure that any policies, any actions take into consideration the fact that people should not become more vulnerable. So it's part of having the voice of the refugees. But of course, this will be done in tandem, in coordination and working together with the refugees. So we must have that shift of mind. It's no longer us leading, but contributing. We are playing the catalytic role. That's very important. It will take time. Now, the municipality is a new governance structure that needs funding. I'm sure they're getting that funding from the government as well as the World Bank. It needs the capacity and expertise. That's very important. To me, the most important in this shift, and why I'm very specific about the shift in the mindset, is we as humanitarians have to realize that the world has changed. People need to be empowered, and we need to be accountable. So it is our responsibility first to make sure that we are supporting, we are facilitating change. We are facilitating access to social and economic rights. Whatever we do, whether it's capacity building, working through different forums like the Garissa Integrated Social and Economic Development Plan. Second, with the host community and the government bodies, the mind shift is that it's not about what are we getting, what kind of support are we getting from UNHCR or the humanitarian agencies. It's about how do you ensure we are able to deliver on our responsibilities as the municipality, as the sub-county, as the county government, particularly in those areas where it's well stipulated in the Devolution Act that the responsibility to provide or to facilitate access to these services is the responsibility of the government at whatever level. And then if we acknowledge that we have that responsibility and we are able to do what it takes, or what some people call walk the talk, then we look at where can we get the allies, the alliances, and the support to deliver on this. So whether it's about working with the World Bank in terms of infrastructure, connectivity, road development, whether it's the African Development Bank, whether it's working with the banks and other financial institutions to bring banking closer to the people, banking services closer to the people, whether in these specific areas it's about ensuring that they're Sharia compliant financial products. Now that's the next level. But the most important thing is to realize that the responsibility is by the government. The responsibility is by the state. And all of us now come behind the state in the name of the refugees to support reach that goal. And we can use the presence of refugees for that. The youth, it's a lot of talent, a lot of energy. How are we going to reskill them? How are we going to provide them opportunities? So we can go on and on. There are various opportunities, but first is the mind shift, and that's very important, because without that, I'll give an example which some people might not like. A number of countries in the world sought for independence, but they had to get that mind shift that we need our own independence. We need our own self-governance. And then they decided to say that, yeah, we can manage. Whatever the challenges, we shall learn on the way. It's very important to know that when you're working towards shift of mind, taking the journey of creating opportunities, putting in the structures that will give people opportunities or an equal chance to succeed, is no longer about the humanitarian agencies. It's about the people. It's about being accountable and answerable to the people. Many of us, when we are asked whom we work for, we say we work for UNHCR. But we work for the refugees. Because without the refugees, UNHCR will not give you a job. So our accountability through UNHCR to the refugees. And our accountability is to make sure that they are able to move or graduate from the position of dependency to a position of empowerment and the possibility to contribute in their own communities, contribute in the countries that are hosting them. That's very, very important. But we are human. In many times, we like looking at things from our own perspective. So when you talk about empowerment, when you talk about movement from care and maintenance, when you talk about people not staying in shelters, but in adequate housing, integrated settlements, some people get worried. And the question is, what about me? Will I still have a job? But that's the wrong question. Put yourself in the position of the refugee. And for those of us who have been refugees, we know. And ask the question, what would I like to be tomorrow? Everyone wants to contribute fully to their ability. So we should be bold enough. Refugee status or the refugee situation, the label should be temporal, because people are just forced to flee. You know? But people would like to continue on living their lives. And I think this is possible. The African culture through the Ubuntu, if we use that approach, you wouldn't even have people like refugees, because we have always been welcoming people. You know, when we look at during the apartheid era, how many South Africans were in different parts of the country, even going to universities and high school for free, accessing health services for free. So that spirit is there. So the question I would like to pose for the Africans and the African community, maybe it's time to think about an institution in Africa that would work with UNHCR and the international community to resolve the African displacement problem, to support the shift from care and maintenance to empowerment. Europe has an organization strictly dealing with the refugee problem, where UNHCR is supporting technically, because that will bring more accountability and responsibility to the Africans, to the African governments, to take lead. And to be honest, the resources are there. Politically, we talk about our resources being plundered and being taken everywhere. The resources could be there, but at least let's take that policy responsibility and say that we are going to have the African Refugee Organization that is going to complement and support UNHCR, solve Africa displacement challenges and problems. And I would go further. I think we need to put on the table the question is, as UNHCR, because UNHCR to me is one of the strongest organizations that understands how to work with vulnerable people. It's one of the most relevant organizations that understands how to work with refugees and displaced people. And history can clearly show that. But shouldn't UNHCR, using its presence in the different parts of the world, using its experience working with different communities, be involved in the preventing of conflicts? I think this is something that we could consider.